Good morning, children. It's Tuesday, 2nd June 2020. Now, today we'll be doing two chapters of Street Child. Okay? Now, again, the resources that you will need for today's lesson are a pen and a sheet of paper. So, I'm going to pause the slide so that you can get your pen and your sheet of paper. Now, our learning intention today is to learn the ways that a story map can help track a character's journey through a narrative. Success criteria: I can learn to retrieve the main events and locations in a text. I can draw a story map. So, today we are going to draw a story map. Okay, now as we proceed further, I will be teaching you how to draw a story map. Chapter 19: Away. Instantly Snipe was awake. His howls rang across the night. He strained to pull against the rope in a fury to be free. Grimy Neck hollowed himself into wakefulness and pummeled his fists against the hatch. Across the fields all the backyard animals sent up their clamour. Lights blazed across the water. Jim sprinted on steadily, head down, dodging between bushes and trees. He could hear his own breathing and the flapping of his boot soles. Brambles tore at his breeches and his jacket. An overhanging branch snapped at his cap and held it trapped, and Jim had to run back and tear it free. He loped on, his chest tight and bursting, his legs as heavy as lead weights. He had no idea where he was going. Now read the remaining chapter silently in your minds. Now I'm going to read the ending of chapter 19. Now you've done it, the little voice whispered. You've left your master to suffocate and you've strangled his dog on the rope. You've killed them both. You have. Now you're for it, Jim. So we've learned that Jim managed to escape from Grimy Nick. Chapter 20: The Green Caravan. Jim woke to the sound of horses, a thudding of hoofs that made the earth shake. He ran to the edge of his field and scrambled through the thickness of trees till he came to a wide clearing in another field. There must have been 20 or more horses being exercised, all in a ring. In the center of the ring a man stood with a whip, lashing the ground with it and shouting out commands which made the horses stop, rear, turn, and trot in the other direction. They were nothing like the work horses that Jim had seen pulling carriages or Lame Betsy's bony old knock-kneed dairy horse. These horses were powerful and lively, high-stepping like dancers. Now read the remaining chapter silently in your minds. Madame Giglini and her husband exchanged glances. He can whiten the harnesses with Antonio. There's a job. Let's see how well he does it. Giglini smoothed his moustaches and went quickly out of the van. Jim gazed after him, so many words tumbling about in his head that he couldn't find a single one to say. Okay, so now we've learned that Jim managed to escape from Grimy Nick and he's landed in a circus, a Victorian circus. And the owners of the circus are Madame Giglini and her husband. And Jim begs them to give him a job in the circus. Now, here are a few guided reading questions. Answer the questions and then email to me on the Year 5 email address. How did the horses in the circus differ to other horses Jim had seen? How does the author create an atmosphere of warmth and coziness inside the caravan? Jim doesn't tell Madame Giuglini he can sew. Why? Where do you think Mr. Giglini is going? Can he be trusted? Okay, so read the chapter once again silently in your minds and then answer these guided reading questions. Now, task. Think about all the places that Jim has been to during the story. Make a list of these locations and then demonstrate how a character's journey through a book can be depicted with a map of the story. Make your own story map to show Jim's journey from his room in the overcrowded house he shared with his mother and sisters to the circus. Okay, so what you're going to do now is you're going to draw a story map. Okay, so from his journey where he lived in the overcrowded house to the circus. Okay, so here are the places where Jim Jarvis lived. Okay, so the workhouse was one place, the lily with grimy neck, the grand house, shed by the river, circus, cottage, rented room, under the hedge, on the streets, at the fountain with his ma. So these were all the places where Jim Jarvis actually went. Now you have to create a short story map. You've read the story so far. You have to create a short story map of the places where Jim Jarvis lived. Okay, so first, he started his journey in the rented room where he lived with his mom and his sisters. So that could be the first place. Then, after that, he was at the fountain with his ma, so he was kicked out of the rented room. And then he went to the fountain with his ma. Then he went to the workhouse. So that way, you have to create a story map. Now, in the next slide, I'm going to show you how a story map is made. Now, here are a few examples of story maps. Now, these are just a few examples. So, before long, okay, so there are various images that this child has drawn. So, he's drawn an aeroplane to show that he flew somewhere. So, these kind of things can be used to make a story map. Okay, so same way you can draw images about Jim's journey in his life. Okay, so you can have the title as Street Child. Okay, and then you can start your story map with Once Upon a Time. Okay, then draw the first picture and have the caption underneath. Then draw the second picture, have the caption, and then how does he proceed further. So as I said in the other slides, he started his journey with his rented room where his sick mom lived. Okay, from there, where did he go? Okay, after that, where did he go? Did he go to the workhouse? Did he go where else? Did he land up on the streets? So draw his whole journey and make the story map as beautiful as you can. You have seen the examples in the previous slides, so make a story map exactly like how the children have done in the previous slides. Okay, I'll check the work for you and I'll give you feedback. You can email to me on the year 5 email address. Good luck with the task and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.